All right, so what have we got here? We've got
Every toy you want,
some,
or every aftermarket part you want.
well, what kind of axles do we have here?
Spider Tracks 9-inch, the Tru Hi-9 third member. You know, the 4F450 unit bearings.
There's the unit bearing. This little addition here, you got cool brake lines.
Yeah, since I was burning my wallet, I figured I might as well get some fancy brake lines made, and got blue jacketed stainless steel or steel braided flexible lines to put on there, and for the Wilwood calipers that Spider Track sells, and their rotor hat, but they don't make a brake setup that works for a 15-inch rim, and since this is my second set of bead-locks, going to 5 and 5.5, I was done with buying another set of bead-locks to fit a 17-inch rim and tires. So I figured the math out from Wilwood specs and Spider Track specs on their hat, and I figured out that you can actually get a custom rotor machine to fit inside a 15-inch rim, and so that's what I did. Did the math, sent out the form, got them cut, and crossed my fingers that I just didn't make a $300 fuck up. And it works out pretty well. Although the rotor can be made a little bit taller. It's 11 3/4. You can actually go to a 12 once I actually saw the Wilwood caliper in my hand. And so hindsight, I would go a 12-inch rotor, and it would be about perfect. And you can see how far come this way, Vicky. You can see how far away the caliper is from the rim. It's pretty much right there.
So why do they call this Hi-9 and Tru Hi-9?
It's because Ford doesn't make a high pinion third member. You get one, Curry makes one, but it uses a Ford 8.8 ring and pinion, which is smaller, but this is a true, that's why they call it the Tru Hi-9, because it's a true high pinion 9-inch round ring gear. And then it's got the Blue Torch Fab skid guard that they originally built for Becca Webster, that they put in production because so many people wanted it to be able to protect the housing, because that shit's expensive.
What about this drive shaft here?
And that's the Bad Boy Junior 60-degree CV drive shaft.
It looks like a bad boy. U-joints look unbelievable.
It's a 1350 U-joint. And see, when I did my front drive line, now look at this baby. It's got the 1350 on it too.
Comparing the stock driveline U-joints to the new ones.
And you see everything's just bigger. And I had to put a smaller tube on here, but thicker. This is 2-inch, half-inch wall DOM. So that way, I get more clearance and still have the strength. But definitely an upgrade.
Think it's evil Cav proof?
No. About the most expensive high pinion 44.
Known to mankind?
Yeah, basically. Crane cover that's highly modified for approach angles. Custom made with half ground off bolts. Poison Spider, Lincoln Farm basically made it a tie rod. PSC steering, Hydro Assist setup.
Now tell me more about the tie rod?
That's just Poison Spider sells the tubes and the ends, and you can make your own. I recessed the crane cover because you can see it hits.
Oh yeah.
You can't really tell it's after it's all dirty, but.
So to fit the tie rod, you had to take the spring bucket, cut it back?
Cut it back all the way to the spring edge where it sits, so that way it's got clearance. Because normally it's supposed to be mounted down below here, down below the crane cover here, and have room, but because this cover is so big, and I wanted to get it up out of the way, I made it work.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
I made my own drag link here, and this is the same bar, it's just shorter. I had them build this to length, realized how easy it was, and then I made my own. And this is made by JKS. It's a track bar relocation mount. It normally goes right here, but I modified mine since I got the ram I wanted to put right here. I've welded some tabs up on top of it so that way I can reverse mount the Tera Flex high steer knuckle higher so that way I can get a flat angle so when the Jeep sits on the ground everything's perfectly flat.
Interesting geometry to figure out there.
Yeah, I mean because the original track bar mount's actually all the way down here.
Does it really?
Yeah, it goes up and then curves up over the diff and it pulls right here. I mean that's a crazy steep angle, especially when you're hitting shit. You know, it puts a lot more stress on this mount. So if you get it up higher, it'll have less stress. And also it goes better, it rides better because it's not constantly traveling with that link going shifting as it goes up and down. This way, when I flex out, the axle maybe moves a ½ inch. Yeah.
Do we need another bolt on our steering box skid?
No, they actually don't provide a bolt there.
What's it supposed to hold?
Yeah, there's a bolt supposed to go here, but I had to take it out one time to replace the box, and the only bolt I can get out was this one. This one wouldn't work, so I ended up just actually peeling the box out of the way, put the new steering gear in there, hammered the box back in place, and bolted it up. So that's why I kind of look up. So that's Brown Dog's off-road heavy-duty engine mount that I had to modify because this is I guess they didn't have their information correct on engine block models, but an unbreakable engine mount that now is made unbreakable after I broke it.
And that's what it's supposed to look like right there?
Oh yeah, they gusted it because of I bent it and broke it because they never thought that could bend.
Bolt was hitting on the bracket.
Yeah.
What was significant about that?
The engine's sitting lower.
So
And
that's
it's rubbing against metal on metal, so it's vibrating a lot in the Jeep.
so now you're kind of like a prototype tester for them, huh?
Basically, yeah. So now you go on their website. This is the bracket they sell, not that bracket. But if you're a normal, you wouldn't bend that.
All right.
Maybe over time, but
Yeah.
no. I mean,
Rear bump stop.
yeah. So, but I got his old ones after he upgraded to the shitty light racings. Should call it shitty racing. They're pretty much just Fox, bump stops, a regular 3-inch nitrogen, and it's pretty crammed on the TJ. And found out if I can cut the corner of the spring bucket out and recess it, right next to the frame, and I was able to squeeze it in there and go and build a pad right off the lower link mount.
So it bumps onto there.
Yeah. So it works out pretty nice. Definitely helps in the whoops
Yeah.
and jumping it.
I've seen you do the whoops at about 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got Acos bump stops here. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep. The Acos Pros. Gas. It's nitrogen mounts.
Sway bar relocation mounts here.
Yep.
And that's a Tera Flex sway bar relocation mount?
Yeah, he takes it from here and gets it up out of the way, and you get little links. You just weld it to the top of the knuckle.
And why would you want to do that?
It gets it out of the way. It's stronger mount. Definitely does not make it easy to change the ball joints, as I found out.
Looks like axle seal here.
Oh, I don't know who the hell makes that, but it basically.
I think it's alloy, isn't it?
I don't know if I don't think they make it. Someone makes it, but they just sell the product. But it just seals the inner tube here from getting full of gunk like mud, dirt, water, from getting up in the tube. Because it can get really nasty in there. If you've lived out east or in wetter areas, that would be worth its weight in gold.
Looking at here.
This is basically Tera Flex's old long arm kit, and you can buy them really cheap, people. But their new kit, their LCG kit, because it's modular, you can buy them all in pieces and sections and upgrade, as like a process is the way they designed the kit. Well, you can take the brackets here and modify them, cut out the bottom section, the bottom 2 holes of adjustment, weld in some gusset tabs front and back here, keep the mount up higher, and basically you can weld and add a tri-link in the rear.
The tri-link out of this without having to buy a brand new setup.
Yeah, because any other tri-link, you know, you need the link mount lower down, attaching to the frame. Like, in their newer kits, they realize that, you know, this is, you know, hinders them trying to put any type of tri-link or aftermarket long uppers. So their new kits mount it into the halfway down the skid plate. But since, you know, I have my nice 3/4 inch 6061 plate here, I wanted to leave the way this was and add their LCG tri-link up in the rear, and then I could also add their long arms for the front uppers as well. You know, just pretty much take their old long arm system that use the old or use low or short uppers and use their LCG's long arm kit and use the uppers from that kit and basically make my setup a full long arm.
Modification on here. And this is the
Reservoir and the P pump conversion. And really it's a must to have a pump on it so you can get higher flow of pressure to work with the system, because if you don't, you can have the greatest box in the world, but if you don't have good pressure and fluid behind it, it ain't gonna do much.
put the brake down and you push the switch.
Yeah.
And then
it locks.
It locks.
It locks, as in it pretty much clamps. It's like if you smash the line off. There's no
Okay.
brake pressure getting out of it, so the brake is clamped on. You allow off the brake pedal, it's still holding the brake pedal. It's still holding the brakes.
Okay.
So when you let it off, then it's just like you allow off the brake pedal.
Okay.
So that's why it
And
just
why
locks
would you
the
want
line.
that?
So you can lock the brake up and not have your foot on the gas, or not have your foot on the brake. So you can do front digs and lock the rear up.
A little bit of a sway bar mount here, but I don't see any sway bar attached. So what's going on with that? Or am I missing something?
No, it's the invisible sway bar links. It's there. You just can't see it. It's a custom design. I designed it and built it myself. It works very well on the street. Allows for it's a triple rate sway bar. Allows for lots of flex, but it's also very tight when it needs to. And all the links, you can't see it itself. It's all internally in the tubes, and it's got, you know, rotational torsion arms and spring thimbles and stuff like that in there.
Wow, how long did it take you to design that?
As long as it took the old one to fall off.
Those of you on Pirate who were upset that Kevin was using forklifts to raise his Jeep, then he went out just for you guys and bought a lift. So can't be dissing him any longer for using forklifts to raise his Jeep.